Hi folks, and welcome to the Fimmelmuck channel. I'm on another bimble in the forest and on my way to the elderly gentleman I am caring for, and I thought I would stop a little bit because I need to do some neuroregulation, and I have recently discovered another key skill that I am currently practicing, so go lightly on me if I am not perfect yet, but you know anyway. So all you need for this project is your Swiss Army knife and a little piece of wood, and I got this hazel lying around not doing anything, and I already carved it for demonstrational purposes last time, or one of the last times, and I want to remove the tip first in order to have a little bit more of a platform. So, because what I want to do is I want to split the material, and I'm working the blade into the wood. Watch your fingers, folks, and go lightly, just rocking it back and forth. And if you are having something like this, you can slightly twist the blade and don't apply too much force. And that way you don't need to take a big baton to risk your knife, and can split the wood alright. Don't apply too much side force even then. You need you need to go the middle way, if that's even a term. You need to go as light as you can. And now I'm using my saw to cut off a piece. I think I will take the other side, because, now you've got something like this, and folding back in the saw, and folding out the blade again. And what you want to do is you want to remove the pith on one side, and what we are carving, by the way, is a binding needle. What this is a really crucial tool if you want to do assume you get you have already made some cordage, and you want to make something of like a bag or even underwear. Because I'm currently working on some Paleolithic undergarments with cordage I made, and and if you've created something like this, it's time for you to fold out the awl. And you just drill a hole into that. The reason why we are taking the awl now is that it can crack the material, and if you have more material around the hole, you are a lot safer than if you don't. Like so, we got a little hole, and we want to put our all down there to create another. Just don't apply too much force. By the way, this is, if I didn't mention already, this is hazel, and hazel is a pretty decent wood, especially if it dried out a little bit. Then you can use it to good effect for projects like this. If the awl comes down at the other side, it's time to reverse. If you use the awl at this stage, you also have a little bit more room for corrections if you didn't come out straight in the middle. So that's pretty decent to do this. So, and now we got 2 holes, folding that in, taking out the small blade. And what I want to do now is I want to remove the material between the 2 holes, carefully and watching my fingers. And I want to emphasize again that I always keep my first aid kit in the top pouch of my backpack. So if something happens, which shouldn't, but it seems to happen when you least expect it, and better safe than sorry. I will also make a video about the contents of my first aid kit as soon as I restocked it, because it's a little bit, well, it has seen some use. Now we are left with something like this, and this might look a little bit counterintuitive to you, because, well, that's not a needle. But we are getting there soon. Just removing the edges. And you want to use long cuts. And the cleaner your surface is, the less you have to do some corrections or something. And now it's already time to use long and light cuts. That's really valuable tip I got from a pretty experienced carver. To use lighter cuts, because I don't know about you, but I was always eager to get to a result, and well, that's sometimes less than ideal. And it's also not faster, because slow and correct becomes fast and correct. And like so. Now I can remove the needle from my piece, because I did this because I needed something to hold on to, and you might even want something longer, and like so. I'm going all the way around, looking at that. And well, the deeper you go, the lighter you will want to cut. Also, it's a good idea not to leave any shavings. I liked to do this when I was getting started with carving. I would carve towards the stop cut, and I would create a lot of shavings and then try to remove them afterwards, which isn't as clean as if you use lighter cuts. Always work from the facets, and remember, slow and correct becomes fast and correct. And advice: don't do this if you are in a hurry like I am now, because I got this appointment to meet. But we are already there. Now it's time to clean it up a little bit. You might want to take the small blade, however, and you want to remove as much of the facets as possible. While they, in my opinion, do look aesthetic, they are also a potentially snagging the cordage, and especially with homemade cordage, that can be pretty much of a pain in the ass. But what we are left with is something like this. Voila, a binding needle. What I want to do now is I want to fold out my saw, and now we are working with the spring. So you need to really put down your finger on it, and you want to scrape all the facets away and recognize that the tip's still too big. So I need to work on the tip a little bit. Look at that, it's a little bit too thick still. Remember not to twist your holding hand, because this isn't good for your precision. And use long but easy cuts. And that. So putting that back in and taking out my saw again. As I said, you really want to bear down on the blade of the saw, and don't use too much force. So because, well, it can happen that you, it's relatively stable, but it can fold back on you, and you don't want that. If you are at home, you might even take some really fine sandpaper and polish the needle, because the smoother the surface is, the better. And so now we're left with something like this. And now I'm already done with my needle, and let's take out some twine. And this is hemp twine. This is not homemade cordage, but it does work. It's from a garden shop, and so I want to do that. I like to wet it a little bit in order not to have some loose threads. And all you do is you just leave it like so. Now you want to make a knot like so. I don't even know how it's called. And you want to fix that knot with another. So you create a loop. Now you take the needle and well, it's not working yet because I made the loop too small, and the needle is a big bastard of a one. For twine that's small, you might also want to make yourself a smaller needle, because and now what we got now is something like this. You got this loop, and you can use this loop to pull through the next loop. Now you get another loop, and you see you are going over and under. Next loop, and over and under. And this is a pretty simple stitch, as far as I hear. My lovely woman is an absolute expert in nail binding, and this isn't the real thing. So if you want a tutorial about nail binding, you might want to go to one of the awesome websites that are about textile working, and you go over and under like so. It's just for demonstrational purposes, as I said, and I'm just discovering it, and I'm pretty stoked because this is a key skill. It applies to a lot of things that you can do in the woods, and even making basketry. Also, it is really much, to me, it was much of an eye-opener, because it's something you need some sort of primitive mathematics for that, and you get garments like that from the Paleolithic, and that's pretty amazing, because that means that even what we like to talk about as flatheads, or the term Neanderthal is a derogative term up to today, and that's wrong, because they were not nearly the flatheads that we like to believe, in order to feel a little bit better about our society. That's not exactly right, because we are destroying the earth and our habitat, and the Neanderthals didn't. And I think it has something to do with if you made a cordage like this, that must have been a little difficult and time consuming, and if you put a lot of time and effort into the cordage, and you see that it's not exactly easy getting started with the weft, or what the binding I am doing here, like so. And this might look familiar to you if you are familiar with knotworks, with Celtic knotworks, and because this is what it is. And it is, there was this article in a scientific journal some years ago about Celtic knotwork panels being an alternative form of mathematics, and because it's all about rhythm you need to stick to, if not numbers. And I think if I was talking about the Neanderthals having sort of some math or something, that's obviously because I said that obviously because you need a way to explain it. It's because it's not exactly what we nowadays take for mathematics, and just to show you how to go around, you might want to keep in mind the number of loops you have just done, which I didn't, because I'm still out and about learning that, and you see I'm pretty clumsy with that. My lovely woman is really apt with that, and you can see her fingers fly. But if you want to make the next row, you go into the same loop, this one, like so, and create another, and then you get the next, and you want to turn it around and go under. What is upper now should become under. Like so. And now again. You want to turn it around. And go around. Like so. That was wrong. But well, and now we are already facing the second loop and going like that. Like so. It's a little bit tricky if you haven't already made a longer piece. And see that, and going like that. As I said, if you want a decent tutorial, I'm just learning it myself, then you might want to go to one of the awesome websites offering insight on that. Actually, this was about carving the needle and putting myself to a challenge, and you see what I mean. So, and keeping your piece out of the way. And you always want to don't forget to use the next loop, not the next one, and because not the second one, because that way you get big holes in your weft, and like so. And I always made the mistake, or I'm still making the mistake, that I pull too tight, and that's not good. Just leave it, or you want to make yourself a smaller needle. The needle is a little bit too big for the diameter of the cordage I'm using, so that is an issue, but like that. And you see, it's not beautiful yet, but I think you might get my meaning. As I said, don't pull too tight, and also keep count of the loops you made. Like so. Which I, as I said, didn't, and that's not good. And always using the next loop, not the next one over. And the funny face I'm making is a bonus, maybe a bogus. So, and the next loop. And the good thing is, if you managed to do the second row, you are already capable of getting into a rhythm, and I think that's the beauty with it all, because it's pretty calming for your nerves. or it can drive you mad, which was the first time I tried. And while my really, really lovely woman is an awesome craftsperson, she's also really, really crap at explaining stuff, and I was trying my best, but didn't understand. Or maybe it's just me. It's I think it's me, and I'm a little bit thick in the head at times, and so, and then if you get the second row, you can already turn it around, and there's a lot less fuss involved if you get this far, and you're getting. Also, it's really nice to see how it's growing, and I really enjoy that at the moment. I'm honestly, I am always enjoying if I learn something, but especially so if I learned something that didn't want to stick in my mind, and now you see I've got this. You can remove that further on and keep it fixed with your finger. Well, it's pretty satisfying actually, if you're going like this. And as I said, this is possibly the most simple stitch that one could possibly do. There are rather complex patterns, but I saved that for later because I'm, as I said, I'm learning myself, and also it might be a tad frustrating. Like so. And so on and so on. Just take care to hit the next loop, and well, also it's not rocket science, folks. If you are if you want to get started, just fire away. Use some cheapo material, not the best golden rule you can find. Well, there's a wolf both away. But something that will well, it isn't too much of a shame if it doesn't work out. But you've seen that has been half an hour, and I was already carving. I was carving the narbining needle, and made 3 rows of what have you, weft. I don't even know how you call that. Piece. And you could use this for a lot of applications. You could use it as if you want something for foraging or something. You can use it for foraging, or for a bag, or you could make yourself a cap, or even a net or something like that. And I think even basketry would work that way. I was thinking about using brambles with a really big ass needle to weave them in a similar way, which might also be a really nice way to create basketry, and which might also look pretty good. So that's a skill I want to practice more, and pretty much out of my comfort zone, because that's not what I'm doing normally. I'm really bad at textile processing, but I think that's why we do this stuff, that we learn something new and understand maybe how people back in the day thought and lived. And I think this is something that is really valuable, especially today, where we are faced with a lot of challenges. And well, also calming for your mind. Doesn't freak people out if you're sitting on a stump and do some handiwork. And it's well, it's also really calming. And if you can find your rhythm, it can also really suck if you get eager. Then it really you want to throw it to the wall. And I really admit I did, because well, that didn't want to stick in my mind, because it was over and under and what have you. And so don't get intimidated. You don't need to be perfect. You just if you try, you get better. And remember, what applies to carving the needle also applies to textile work. Slow and correct becomes fast and correct. Take your time and go lightly on yourself. That said, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. I hope I could inspire you a little bit to just get started with something like this. And I hope to be able to get the videos coming, to keep the videos coming, and in that aspect, stay sane and healthy. And I hope to see you soon. And apologies if I'm not keeping up at the moment, because still no phone contact and still relying on public Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And actually, I got a pretty bad conscience that I'm standing here doing stuff like that. I need to do some really serious adulting at the moment, which turns out I didn't. And which well, it's not cool, and I'm not proud about that, but I want to explain why I'm currently not present at the moment. As usual, I always talk about that in every video, so I hope I don't bore you out. It's just that the situation still hasn't changed a lot, and it will be for some time still. And but I hope you understand that this is not out of bad intent, but has some reasons that I'm actually not having too much control over. I'm regaining a little bit of control again, but that's just a little, and ways to go still, and so might be sometime that I'm still not too professional. I couldn't live with the needle being not perfect, so I am carving as I speak, which is the reason that I talk funny with a lot of breaks and stuff, because I am distracted, and that is something that I need to work on. I hope that you don't get mad about that. And well, like that. As I said, I hope to see you soon, and that you take good care as well, and that you stay sane and healthy. And I really, really do mean that, because we are faced with grave challenges, and that always sounds so far away, because it's always in the news and it's not about yourself or what have you. But it isn't. It's about this. If anyone would start a fire here, this would also burn, and that wouldn't be much fun, because I would be in the middle of a wildfire, and that's not about me, but it's just illustrating that it's our beloved woods are burning worldwide, and that's not something we are enjoying as humans in general. And well, our society is mad, and I think we need to regain our sanity. We need to reclaim our sanity, and that's more important than most people want you to realize, because, well, our entire society works that way. It's that we are not sane and not healthy, because that's well, that's generating a lot of profit, and if you heal, no one likes you anymore, because I think that a lot of people that think that they are stark raving pissed mad actually aren't, because they realize that they are stark raving pissed mad, and as long as you realize, as long as you want to heal, as long as you are on a journey, you're not the problem. You're the solution. Because what we have, it's not even capitalism, and I'm not. Please take note. I'm not a communist. But what we have, and as I said, it's not capitalism. It's something nearing feudalism and absolutism, and that's a pretty daft thing to say. I know, and I don't want to talk about politics, because it's about sanity. It's about the system relying on your insanity, and it's relying on you having a vacuum in yourself that you need to fill up with the next big thing, the bushcraft knife or tent or oven or what have you. That's not how it works. And I want to emphasize, and this is why I carve an albany needle and do some cottage silly endeavors, is that I want to show you that you can create a lot of stuff, and you can create something to fill up the vacuum inside yourself. and that the forests do provide for you, and nature does provide for you. I just snagged some blackberries that are really awesome at the moment, and there are so many things that are growing here. And if you would say have a garden or a piece of land, and you can grow some greens or something, and remember to be grateful for that, because this is a very, very beautiful planet. It's a very beautiful life. What isn't beautiful is what we call adulting. It's something, well, you cannot dismiss it entirely, because, well, that's how it is, folks. It's just you need to go back, and you need to find a way and a place in society, whatever, and things are currently as they are. And if anyone says on the internet, well, get out there and become self-reliant, that's a dream. That's a nice dream, that's a wonderful dream, but it doesn't work that way, because it's really hard work. It's not just you buy a farm and then suddenly you are self-reliant, because if you want to grow some greens, that might take you up to 5 years until your crop is there, and that's really hard work. And I know, because I grew up that way, and I had to turn over the soil of around 1,000 square meters of potato field by hand when I was 6 or 7 or 9, and that was just a chore. It wasn't something that wasn't even child's work or what have you. It was just a chore I had to do, like doing the dishes or sweeping the staircase to the front door. That's how self-reliance looks like. But what I want to say is, if you made your cordage yourself, well, it isn't getting you anywhere. And in a survival situation, as I want to emphasize again and again and again, most of the time it's better that you keep moving. You don't build a shelter for in most situations, and in situations where you would have to live in the woods for extended periods of time, well, you won't, because if the shit completely hits the fan and there's a nuclear holocaust or what have you, why should you? Why should you want to survive this? Because there is a difference between ballistic and tactical nuclear weapons. And I always confuse the two, because, well, the one is overkill and the one is, well, pricking with a needle. And if you just got pricked with a needle, well, there's a chance you might survive that. You will get cancer, but you might survive for some time. But honestly, most of the people, and it's not about being the bow drill world champion. That's really a respectable skill to have, and that's cool to understand how people back in the day made fire, and it's also a really cool challenge, and it's never wrong to practice something and learn something, and I can't. I want to practice this and I want to learn this, but today I cannot claim that I would be skilled in that. And this is a really awesome skill. That's not what I'm saying, but it's not getting you anywhere in a survival situation. It's if you need a fire even, that means you are already in a situation where you're pretty fucked. Most of the time, the best advice is go find people and add your skills, your skill set, your tool set to what they know and what they have, and cooperate. Don't fall for the lone wolf mythology, is what I want to say. The more you know, the better it is, and the less you will carry. If you know how to use a boat drill, you don't need a big lighter and you don't need a fire steel and what have you. But it's always good to have a big lighter and some matches and a fire steel and what have you. You know, if you get all this, you have less possibility, you have more room for errors. If you can't light a fire with a boat drill, you still have the fire steel and maybe flint and steel additionally. And if you can't start a fire with flint and steel, you still have your fire steel. And if it doesn't work with a fire steel, you still have your matches, and if that doesn't work, you still got your big lighter. And this is what I want to say. It's just the best advice for surviving a survival situation is not to get into a survival situation. And as I said, making cordage and making a Paleolithic underwear with your cordage you just foraged and made, that isn't a survival skill. But what it does is you learn to appreciate what is around you. You learn to appreciate the resources that the forest has to offer, that nature has to offer, that this planet has to offer. And it's ecology and economy in the real sense of the word, because this is deriving from the Greek term oikos, which is the house, and nomos is the name. It's the name of the house, or the knowledge of the house, the overview of what you have and what you don't have, and what you need and what comes in, what comes out, how it's moving. And it's not just about money, it's about resources. Economy in the original term also was, I got still that bacon lying around, and I need to get an overview how much bacon still left, because there are this guy coming over and we want to have a nice chat. He brings the wine and I got the bacon. So it's something like this. And you need to be aware of how much bacon there's still left, how much water you have, and how much fossil fuels you have, or how you work with your other resources like energy and something like this. That's also economy, and that is something that we do no longer know or want to know, because if we want some cordage, we just go to the hardware store and buy some, or the garden store, as I did. Or we buy some, and it's that cheap because some poor fellow in Bangladesh made the cordage. But that's not going to work forever, because that poor fellow in Bangladesh also wants to send his kids to school, and in times of the internet he knows that he's being exploited, and that's not going to work forever. And we need to make do with each other, because that's a planet and it's a globe, or nearing a globe. It's a planetoid shape, well, which is hurling headlong through a fucking lot of nothing at all. It's not like in Star Trek or Star Wars, where there are stars everywhere, and well, that's the galaxy. The star is the sun. It's not, it's not that they are everywhere, and we don't have spaceships that were able to leave the galaxy. We sent a probe over, but we're about to lose contact with that. And it's not going. And if you don't get the information, that's just a whole lot of space junk, and there's nothing at all. There's no other inhabitable planet, at least in the galaxy, and we can't leave the galaxy at the moment, and we can't colonize Mars if we foul up Earth first, because we need the supply chains still, and that's also economy. And economy is what you learn if you make your own cordage and try to make some garment from it. Then you realize, well, I got 2 meters of cordage and I made this piece of weft or what have you, or a net or what have you, and no, I need to make some more cordage, and I need to process the fibers. I need to maybe let them rat or something, and you realize, well, that's not a never-ending supply. It's not that I can go to the supermarket or can go to the hardware store or to the garden store and buy some more. Yes, you can, and it's a good thing that you can. It's not that I was saying anything against that. It's just something that we need to, well, we need to realize, and we need to wake up about that. That economy isn't just how much money do I have on my account, and what can I buy, because there will maybe, and I hope not, there will maybe come a time where money can't buy you anything anymore. I hope that this isn't going to happen, but it is a really grave thing that is just around the corner, and if energy supply goes out, you won't be able to buy anything at the supermarket anymore, because logistics are designed to do all the storage on the road or on the railways, and it's just on demand, and there is no supply left after 3 days. If you then go to the supermarket, there will be no bread left, there will be no nothing to drink, nothing to eat anymore. And a lot of times in the internet you see some preppers or survivalists, I don't want to insult them, and actually they are right, but it's always as if they looked forward to something like this, but it's nothing to look forward to. It's something that's really, really grave, and I really, really pray, and with all my might, I pray that this isn't going to happen, because then a lot of people will suffer and maybe die, and it's a really grave scenario, and we could prevent that. This is what I want to say. We could prevent this now, not if the shit hit the fan. And it's shit hitting the fan isn't, and you are not the cool guy if you're a prepper and something like this. But if you, this is what I want to say, and what I want to say with all my videos is, if you learn to get to know your resources and the economy involved, the real economy, you see what's happening in the house, what's happening in the ecosystem, then we have the means and the tools to to stop that. But in order to do this, and this is why I always say stay sane and healthy, is not only if we are getting sane and healthy, and we are all mad, we are all stark, raving, pissed mad, because we don't realize that it's not a given that there is the cordage. And this is what I wanted to say, and this is why I'm not tiring, and I mean it also from my heart, that I just don't want you to suffer or what have you. I want you to know that you matter, that you are not just appreciated because you're a subscriber and I could possibly earn money from this channel. That's not what I'm about here. And it's just that it matters. It matters that you are sane and healthy, that you find some time to enjoy yourself away from the so-called adulting, which is maybe sometimes, not always, but sometimes designed to keep you occupied and to divert your attention from the true economy, from the question, where does this cottage I need to buy my roses or my fruit trees or what have you to, where does this cottage come from? What does it mean to make the cottage? What does it mean to have some underwear or that shirt or that pants or this belt pouch or what have you? And that's the important question, in my opinion, that we need to ask. Not can I survive the nuclear holocaust? But the question is, can we survive? Can we cooperate? Can we make do? And do we have a positive idea for the future? And sitting in a bunker and being the lone wolf isn't a positive narrative for the future. This is not how you can continue for long, because you need a perspective. You need to have an idea what is it what we want to do, what is it what we enjoy, what brings us joy, what brings us resilience. And and maybe that's a little bit of food for thought. Actually, this was just I just was getting started on saying goodbye, and now I talked for another half an hour. But personally, I think that I'm always a little bit torn between showing you something practical and shutting up, and trying to do something, trying to give you my 5 cents on something where I really sometimes get driven up the wall, because I think it is pretty simple. It's not complicated. It's not something that's I didn't ask for flying cars, and a lot of people I know didn't ask for flying cars. A lot of people I know didn't even ask for the internet. It just happened, and now it's here, and it's nice to talk to you, to your box, and you commenting, and I hope I contribute to your life, and you certainly contribute to mine, and that's awesome to talk to people all at the end of at the other side of the world about. And realizing that these are people too. This could be a really nice step to world peace, and this is why it is not going to happen sustainably. So we didn't ask for the internet. We were just content doing what I am doing is actually the difference is that I'm talking to a box about it. But I have done this all my life, and if I were no longer to talk to a box, which, as I said, I respect and value you all, and it's not something that I find in any way bad or something, but it's. And I'm not complaining about the internet, but it's something that we didn't ask for, and that is pretty much eating up our time and our resources, because data centers. And if I were to make a decision whether I want to have some drinking water or talking to a box, you bet I will choose the drinking water, because economy. And so when I upload this video, this is not energy efficient. This is taking up a lot of energy, and it's warming up the climate, which leads to wildfires and people dying, animals dying, forests dying, and it's a little bit of a dilemma. And in this time we need to stay sane, and we need to walk the middle road. And this is the reason why, even though I'm that ugly, I won't use AI to enhance my videos. And even though my videos are crap, and I know that because I don't cut anything, it's raw. I don't use AI to clip anything to date. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not against AI. It's a tool. But at the moment we are trying to drive in a nail into the wall with a saw blade, and that's not how it's meant to be. It's an awesome tool for spacecraft, or for medical applications, or for researchers, or what have you. There are a lot of applications where AI is very much suited for, and it's a really great thing to have. I'm not for making silly videos about funny little gnomes or stuff. You know, there are artists doing this, and they are awesome and should be supported. And that's it. Big rant again. Hope you enjoyed the video, no less, and I really hope to see you soon, is what I wanted to say. So if you stayed until the end, kudos to you, because it was a little bit unnerving, I know, but hope the practical part was informative or helpful. And so that's it. Hope to see you soon. Bye.